Cyberpunk 2077. It was gonna be pretty cool, guys. Massive, dynamically changing open world, endless branching quests and storylines. Keanu Reeves. As far as the entire world was concerned, this game was gonna be the greatest thing since mac and cheese. A miracle. A masterpiece. Nothing short of utterly breathtaking.
You're breathtaking.
But it didn't quite turn out like that, obviously. One of the biggest disasters in video game history, if you want to be precise about it. So what happened? How did one of the most highly anticipated games of all time find itself here? Well, it all started in 2012 with CD Projekt Red. Hot off the heels of The Witcher 2, they were a company with class, a company with ingenuity, a company that was building quite a reputation for themselves. They knew how to make games, and they knew how to make fans.
Everybody talks about how cool CD Projekt is. I didn't quite buy it, but they won me over. Right here. I'm a fan.
They unveiled a new project during their annual summer conference, a mature RPG for mature audiences. A game called Cyberpunk, based off an old tabletop RPG, renamed Cyberpunk 2077 a year later, when they released this trailer. Futuristic city, blood, violence, sexy ladies, everything a growing boy could want out of a game, to be honest, and needless to say, people were intrigued. Fast forward 2018. 5 years later, all was silent on the Cyberpunk front, but The Witcher 3 had recently turned CD Projekt Red into the cool kids on the block. They were living the dream. Private jets, caviar, Sundays. After all, they had just released what was arguably considered one of the greatest games of all time. Everybody and their mom was looking forward to whatever they had coming down the pipeline next. Cue the music. A brand new Cyberpunk trailer alongside 48 minutes of the most mind-blowing open-world action-packed gameplay imaginable, and more hype than many scientists had previously thought could even exist. Also boobs. The game took home over 100 awards at that year's E3, including Best Game, Best Xbox One Game, that's funny, and the best PC game. How exactly they are able to hand out awards like this for things that aren't even released yet, I don't know. But needless to say, it set the world on fire. It's all anyone could talk about. It's all anyone could think about. 2019 rolled around, a new E3, and the hype train continued to chug along even faster. A new trailer, a wild Keanu Reeves appeared, and a release date. My God. Gamers the world over climaxed in unison with eager anticipation of all their futuristic, genital-altering dreams coming true in only 10 months. But that date got moved. Actually, it got moved about 3 times. You see, going back a little bit, the game was announced in 2012, but truly began work in 2016, following the release of The Witcher 3. But by 2017, a year later, there were already signs that things were not going so well. A large number of developers leaving the company en masse and flooding Glassdoor with negative reviews of the company, which led them to go into damage control with a public statement. Hey guys, I know you've maybe heard some things on Glassdoor, but trust us, everything is fine over here. Don't worry about it. Don't look behind the curtain. The game is gonna be great, guys. Just chill out a little bit. People were skeptical, but the game seemed so cool, they were willing to look the other way. And the problems continued to mount behind the scenes. For starters, a production team of only about 500 developers tasked with completing the game by 2020. Only 4 years' time in total. For some perspective, Red Dead Redemption 2, an equally ambitious game, was completed by 2,000 developers in 8 years' time. An impossibly daunting task for anyone, let alone such a small team. And not unexpectedly, 3 months before the release, delay. We are currently at a stage where the game is complete and playable, but there's still work to be done, said the company. That was a little bit of an understatement. Many employees apparently even thought that the company was just pulling a big goof on everyone because they were still nowhere near completion, and the cracks were beginning to show. The team was in crunch, overworked, 13-hour days, 6 days a week. They were apparently developing the brand new engine for the game alongside the development of the game itself. And to make matters worse, upper management was apparently only concerned with the marketing. That 48-minute demo from earlier at E3 2018, totally fake. Instead of focusing on the game, developers spent months working on mechanics for a demo that would never even make it into the finished product because the top brass wanted to slurp up that sweet hype juice. And lo and behold, as the new release date approached, another delay. People were getting antsy. Pre-release review copies were sent to journalists, but only the PC version, and reviewers were instructed that they weren't allowed to use their own gameplay footage, just footage provided by CD Projekt Red. Pretty sketchy. And oh yeah, yet another delay. Twitter was more or less on fire by this point. Anger, panic, confusion, 8 million pre-order customers on the verge of a nervous breakdown, vacations ruined. One journalist had a seizure. Nothing to do with the delay, but just a thing that was happening with a particular mechanic in the game. Not a good look, but nonetheless, finally, after years of anticipation, on December 10th, 2020, the game came out. Needing to hit that Christmas rush, the company just said, fuck it, put it out. The PC version wasn't too bad by all measures, but the previous gen console versions were more or less completely unplayable. No roads, character models not loading, crashes, the artificial intelligence was not so intelligent, little trees everywhere, dialogue missing. Overall, people were just not so sure if the game was meant to be running on a PS4 or a PS2. And I could go on, but there's really no shortage of compilations of this stuff that you can look up. It was a disaster. You see, aside from the issues I've already discussed, the size of the team, crunch, misguided management only focused on marketing, the company had spent all of their time on the PC version, thinking that they could just port it to the consoles later. Easy peasy. Turned out to be a much harder task than they originally thought, coupled with the fact that they were all working from home near the end of production due to COVID and only had PC versions to test the game on anyways. Not good. People were pissed. So many people began asking for refunds due to shitty console versions that Sony actually pulled the game from their online store, which was completely unprecedented. $1.8 billion in stock losses, a golden reputation tarnished, and a company spending the majority of their time over the next year now tasked with working on fixes for the game rather than expansions. Company co-founder Mark 𝗖𝙚𝗕𝗚𝗨𝗡 issued a public apology due to the public backlash, and YouTubers everywhere saw the situation and said, wow, I should really make a video about this. One of the most highly anticipated games of all time, and one of the biggest flops of all time. An overconfident team, too concerned with their public image, in way over their head. Truly a whirlwind of bullshit is the best way to summarize exactly what happened behind the scenes in developing this game, but nonetheless, let's all just hope it was a good lesson. And here's hoping that The Witcher 4 does a little better. But that's the end of the video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you on the next one. Love ya. Bye-bye.